So here's one that I'm actually somewhat familiar with. At one time, this car resided near me here in Tyler, Texas, in East Texas, and now it's in Lakeway, Texas. This is VIN 0938, 2016 083, which is ultra white, white with gold flake, with LA20 black interior. And it is currently off market, but it will be coming to market here pretty soon. So look for it on Auto Trader, Facebook Marketplace, elsewhere. In my little town here of Tyler, Texas, with 100,000 people, there are 4 GSFs. We have 50% of them, but this was one of the other ones until he recently moved away. And so I haven't seen this car since then, but I'm somewhat familiar with it. And I do know that it's a pretty good, well-sorted example. It's a good driver quality car. So it has 114,000 miles and it doesn't have a price listed yet because it's still off market. But I will give you some suggestions on kind of where I think this car should be priced. So we'll dive into that and see. First and foremost, production statistics. 648 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were ultra white. Of those, 266 had LA20 black interior. Second most common color, white with red, and then white with black, which is what this is. 11.33% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. It's like a 2 out of 10 for rarity. For 2016, 372 out of the 1,418 cars were ultra white, 148 had LA20 black interior. So this car, at its rarest, one of 148. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows us as a 4-owner, 2 accident or damage event reported. The first one is November of 2020 to the front, reporting minor damage. And the second one is, which I'm familiar with because I've talked to the owner about it. The incident in 2025, his wife backed into him in the driveway. The car was sitting in the driveway, his wife backed into him, and it had one of the doors replaced and the rear quarter panel was refinished and repaired. So again, minor damage, but it was repaired and repaired correctly. Epic VIN shows this as a 3-owner, 1 accident car, and it's only showing that November of 2020 to the front, saying minor damage. AutoCheck shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. So it looks to me like this is a 4-owner, 2 damage event or accident, California, New Hampshire, and Texas car. Previous sales. This car first went on sale February of 2016 in California, $88,000. Still for sale in April of 2016. Still for sale in July of 2016. Still for sale in September of 2016. And it sold the last day of September 2016, so like 7 or 8 months for sale. Very typical of what you saw when these cars were new. The dealers didn't want to discount them, and the market wanted them somewhere around $70,000, not $90,000. November of 2019, certified pre-owned, $53,000 with 34,000 miles in California, and it sold 3 months later in February of 2020 to a buyer still in California. August of 2021, $51,500 with 42,000 miles in California, and it sold January of 2022, so about 5 months or so, to a buyer in New Hampshire, which is the 3rd owner. Then it pops up for sale on Facebook Marketplace in April of 2024, $45,000 with 77,000 miles in Texas, with a Grom V-Line now installed, so the Android Auto, CarPlay type of thing. June of 2024, Texas Cars Direct, $43,700 with 77,500 miles in Texas, and it sold again to a friend of mine that is going to be selling it here pretty soon. It sold in July of 2024, so like in less than a month. So here it is, April of 2026, and as I said, you'll probably be seeing it everywhere for sale. If you are interested in it, you can email me. My email is always at the beginning and the ends of the videos. You can email me and I can send you his contact information if you're interested, but I'm not going to post it on these videos just because when these cars do sell, people don't want to continually be asked questions, years down the line after they've sold the car. So that's why I don't do that. So if you are interested, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the guy's contact info. So now into the photos. The owner states it has a couple mods. It has 20mm spacers all around, wheel spacers. It has a mid-pipe and secondary cat delete, but it still has factory exhaust otherwise. So just for a little bit more noise, the factory mid-pipe and cats really quiet everything down, so just opens it up a little bit. He notes that it has paint peeling on the factory black calipers, so it'd be a good time to powder coat or redo those. Not a big deal. There's chips on the bottom of the front bumper. Car probably doesn't have paint protection film, and the carbon fiber piece on the front bumper, as always, they start chipping and then they start peeling, and that's probably what's going on here. He notes that the left rear quarter panel had been repainted even prior to the incident in 2025. and the left rear quarter and the bumper don't quite match correctly. And he said, just in certain light, you'll see it. So I've talked about in other videos, the flake, and it's called the flip or the flop, how it lays when it's repainted. If it's not painted in the exact same direction or laid down the same direction as the factory, your eye is going to catch the light differently, and it's going to look either darker or lighter than the panel right next to it. And so that could be what's happened here. It could be that the shade is slightly different too. That does happen, but it's generally how the metallic flake hits it. That's not a deal breaker, but it's just something that, you know, I'm glad that he's disclosing it. He's not trying to hide anything here from you. But overall, it presents very well for the mileage. And he said that the carbon fiber trim is starting to delaminate on both front doors and the center console. The two pieces on the front dash have been replaced before, and I'll get into that in the service history. But basically, 2 of the 5 have been replaced. The other 3 are starting to delaminate and will eventually have to be refinished. I think overall, it'll just be a really good driver quality car. It's already got some miles on it, and it's been well serviced, well taken care of, and so we'll get into that here. So as far as the price goes, for the mileage, I would expect to see this car somewhere in like the low to mid 40s, probably more on the low 40 side. So like 41 to 43,000, something like that. That's sort of where the market is right now. The market has been on the up and up in the last 60 days or so. And there are a lot of lower mile examples that have come to market, but there's a few higher mileage. I would not consider this high mileage, it's just kind of average mileage. And so I think kind of low 40s is where I expect to see it. So now into the service history. This car is extremely well serviced, dealer and independent shop serviced. So the first entry of note is June of 2018. The JLB recall was done, and they note that it needs front brakes, but it was not done there. In July of 2018, 22,000 miles, they did front brakes, pads, and rotors. Pretty typical of what the lifespan you get out of the brakes on these cars, 20 to 30,000 miles on the front, 40 to 50,000 on the rear. So here it is, 22,000 miles, getting front brakes. November of 2019, L certified pre-owned prep, which includes refinishing to the left rear quarter panel. And that kind of jives with what the owner said. He said it didn't quite match beforehand because it had previous paintwork there. So anyway, that's something else of note. March of 2020, 35,000 miles. The low pressure fuel pump is reprogrammed. That's the humming or buzzing that you hear in the back seat. So that's already addressed. Also in March of 2020, they note that the employee is working on his own vehicle, and they replaced a center plastic piece on the console. I'm not sure exactly what that is. It doesn't say what it is, but the takeaway from there is it's an employee's car. So you had a Lexus employee that or Lexus or Toyota employee that owned this at one time. May of 2020, they ordered the driver and passenger front carbon fiber trim pieces because they were delaminating. So there you go, the front pieces. They also noted a clicking noise when opening the driver's door. That's very common on these cars. It's generally the door check. It's not a very expensive part. If it squeaks, it's the seal on the fender. If it's a pop, it's the door check. And so it's a thing with the GS, the 4th gen GS, they have that issue. So later that month, in May of 2020, they installed the carbon fiber pieces, and they noted that it needs to go to the body shop for this clicking noise on the door. And I guess they haven't had enough of them come in where they're just like, yep, replace the door check. It takes 5 minutes and it's sorted. May of 2022, remove the winter tires, install the summer tires. So this car's in New Hampshire at this point, and it failed the annual inspection due to moisture in the headlight. So I don't see where the headlight was any later replaced. Maybe it was resealed and then it stopped that issue. If it does have moisture in the headlight, that will be a problem later on, where the daytime running lights, so the moisture will be in the headlights and it'll go down and sit into the daytime running light, and then it will quit working, and then it will eventually amass enough on the bottom where it gets to the LED driver and everything else, and it gets expensive. New headlights like $3,700. So that would just be something to keep an eye on, that if the daytime running light, if it's flickering or if it is not working, then you're probably going to need a new headlight. So that is something to look out for on this car. December of 2022 at 60,000 miles, They recommended the 60,000 mile service and it was declined. So no spark plugs, no brake fluid, anything done right there. July of 2024, 78,000 miles at an independent shop. The torque vectoring differential was serviced. So good to see that that was done. August of 2024 at 81,000 miles, they hit a curb and they say they wanted to inspect it and it needed 2 wheels refinished. They did a brake fluid flush and the left front wheel bearing was noted as being damaged, but they declined to replace it there. There was also a chirping noise noted from the engine bay, and it was not the high pressure fuel pumps. It was the drive belt tensioner. And so they declined to replace that here as well. And an estimate to remove the Grom V-line unit, and it was not done, I guess, there either. And then a month later at an independent shop, 81,000 miles, they did the front wheel bearing and the belt tensioner along with servicing the transmission. So kind of catching up on some things that needed to be done there. November of 2024, 85,000 miles, the spark plugs were done. And the owner said that the reason that he did it there is because he wasn't sure whether it was actually done at the 60,000 mile service. And I agree. So good to see that that's done and the spark plugs are changed. February of 2025, 91,000 miles, the front and rear pads and rotors were done at an independent shop. So about 25,000 miles ago. August, so that would mean if they're not done soon, then it probably needs brakes, but I think they were done. August of 2025, 100,000 miles, the 100,000 mile service and the coolant was done. So everything done on time there. February of 2026, 109,000 miles at the independent shop, front and rear brakes, differential was serviced again and transmission was serviced again. So again, good to see that it's being serviced several times there. April of 2026, 113,000 miles, which is the last service. Oil and filter, and they note that it needs front and rear tires pretty soon. They said tires yellow, so not bald, but probably getting there. I would assume that means probably like 4 to 5 30 seconds left on the tires. So if the tires haven't been replaced, expect to do tires on this car. Heard me talk about in other videos, these cars always need brakes and tires, but this car just recently had brakes. It's recently had the transmission serviced, had the TVD serviced. It has had the spark plugs replaced 85,000 miles. So it really doesn't need a whole lot. So what's not done? The ZLZ, that is the deformed, cracking, sticky dash. And the in-service date on this car is September 30th of 2016. You have 10 years from the in-service date to get that replaced if it's even the slightest bit sticky. So if it is sticky, take it to Lexus and it's still under the coverage until September 30th of 2026. So you still have a little bit of time left. Low pressure fuel pump recall just came out in April of 2026. Parts are not yet available, but this car will get a new low pressure fuel pump when the parts become available. Just take it to the dealer, no cost. HVAC servo sweep. If you're gonna go check this car out, make sure it's fully up to temperature, cycle through all of the HVAC controls, set one side to max hot, one side to max cold, cycle through the defrost, the head, the feet, the rear, switch sides, and just make sure everything responds. If it doesn't, there is a reprogramming available. It's past the time frame for that, but Lexus still will offer it. You just have to pay an hour of labor. If it still doesn't fix the problem, then you have to replace some of the servos. Some of that can get expensive because the dash has to come out for some of those. So if you're gonna do the ZLZ, the dash replacement, might not be a bad time to go ahead and replace those while it's out. It'll save you money in the long run if you're planning on keeping this car for a long time. The carbon fiber trim, 3 of the 5 have not been replaced. Those 3 are delaminating. So you can send those off to SMA Fabrication in Florida for a couple $100, have them refinished, or for several $1,000s, you can have the dealer replace them with brand new ones that will still delaminate further down the line. Front lower control arm bushings. As always with these cars, look at the insides of the front tires. Make sure you don't see any excessive wear. If you do, front lower control arm bushings, 2 tires and an alignment, so that can get kind of pricey. The valley plate. The owner does state that the valley plate is currently not leaking. It has been recently inspected. However, that also means it has not been done yet. So put $2,000+ aside if you buy this car, because it will need it in the future. May not be immediately, but it will need it in the future. The usual things, 120,000 mile service is coming up. However, that's spark plugs and brake fluid. It's the 60,000 mile service again. The spark plugs were done at 85,000 miles, so it doesn't really need it. If you want to get everything back to the 60,000 mile intervals, look at doing the 120,000 mile service. But it looks pretty much ready to go and well sorted. It's a great driver quality car. It's not going to be a collector. It's get in, go enjoy it, and drive the hell out of it. That's what I would do. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? Absolutely, as long as it's priced right. Now, if this car is priced at $50,000, no way. Low 40s, maybe mid 40s, that's about where I would expect to see it. Put new tires on it, refinish those 3 carbon fiber pieces and go drive it. That's what I would do. Put some money aside for the Valley Plate, and that's it. So definitely worth checking out. Again, if you want the owner's contact info, just shoot me an email and I'll send it over to you. Between when I film this video and when you see this, if he hasn't already posted it for sale, but yeah, I can send you his contact info. Just shoot me an email. Thanks again for watching, guys. This is Vin0938. We'll see you soon.